Frickin'... My God. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some friggin' standalone books. I decided to do a tier ranking of standalone SFF that I have read. It's not a lot. I haven't read that much. Oops. This is really, when I was making this list, it really is making me want to pick up more standalone SFF because I'm like, ugh, my options are limited here. So here we have the tier ranking. Let me scooch my squeaky ass chair. At the top is Fan-Freaking-Tastic. I imagine there's probably not gonna be that many up there because a lot of them are probably gonna be down at the bottom in I don't know her. Books that I know I read because they're in my old Goodreads and my new The Story Graph, but I don't fucking remember much about them. There's a few. And then in the middle, towards the top, we have pretty solid books that I quite enjoyed, but aren't, oh my God, yeah, that was so great. But like, no, it was cool, I guess. What I remember of it, it was fine. And then right in the middle is just meh. Like, yeah, they're good, I suppose. And then not for me, ones that I remember and don't really like or weren't exactly my cup of tea. So yeah, I feel like probably the most are going to be either in the bottom or at the top. I'm either just straight up not going to remember them, or I'm going to be like, oh yeah, these are one of my faves. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see where we go. So the first is Arch Conspirator by Veronica Roth. You can't really see the thing. This one, I liked it, but I don't know if I would say it was like pretty solid. I feel like I gave it like 3.75 or something though. I'm going to put it in meh. It was like on the higher end of meh, but in this ranking, I'm going to put it in meh. Armada by Ernest Cline. This was a long time ago, but I remember not for me. My God. Oh my God. Just nothing about it was my cup of tea. Very sci-fi, but like virtual reality, if I remember. It's like a game, and it's kind of like Ready Player One in that same vein, I suppose. Not the same premise. I haven't read Ready Player One, I've seen the movie, but yeah, Armada, I just remember being like, this is so tedious and I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay, Beastkeeper by Cat somebody. I don't remember this shit. Don't remember at all. It was so long ago that I read this. When was it? I read it in 2016. That was many moons ago. Don't remember it. Okay, Dowry of Blood, however, that one is, it's one of my favorites. So I feel like it was a book that like the entire book wasn't like, oh my God, yes. But there were several moments of like feeling very seen and just beautifully worded things. So I gotta put it in Fan-Freaking-Tastic. Alotsoe also is one of those books that like, it's not, like if I think of my all-time favorite books, I don't necessarily think of it, but it's like up there in my like favorites, you know? So I'm like pretty solid or Fan-Freaking-Tastic. It's kind of like in between. I just really liked what the author did with that one. I don't know. I really like the main character, but I don't think I can put it in Fan-Freaking. I gotta put it in pretty solid. So okay, one of each in here. Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Okay. I know, man, this is like a booktube darling. People love. I've tried a couple Silvia Moreno Garcia. Not a shit ton, but a few. And they just haven't vibed with me. And this one, I wouldn't say it was not for me. I think I gave it like 3 or so stars, like around there. So I'm going to put it in meh. Like, it was fine. I don't know. I wasn't that moved by the characters, I think. And I remember the plot being like a lot. We were like doing stuff constantly. We're moving here and there and everywhere. House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. You know, I've said almost every time I've talked about this book, I know there's kind of controversy with this book and like the inspiration for it and whatnot. But I loved it when I read it. It just spoke to my soul. It was so touching, so heartwarming. Just the element of like acceptance that whole thematic exploration of accepting people for who they are and like children finding a home and being loved and just cared for, people being gentle with these children. So fan freaking tastic. I mean, that was one of the first times I've openly cried while reading from just sheer joy and like, oh my God, it's so cute. So for that reason, it's always got to be up in my top faves. Nettle and Bone by what's their face? Who's Nettle and Bone? I don't have it. Why am I looking? Do I have it? No, I don't. Frickin' who wrote Nettle and Bone, you guys? I know Elle is probably like, what? T. Kingfisher. Yeah. T. Kingfisher. I just didn't love it. Like, I don't know. It was fine. It was fine. I gotta put it in meh. It was like cute or whatever. I'll put it right like here. I don't know. I guess I'll put that there. Cause it was just, it wasn't like not for me. I didn't dislike it, but I just wasn't enamored with it. Like the writing style or anything. I just was like, yeah, it's cool, I guess. Freaking Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. I mean, fan freaking tastic. Like one of my all-time faves. And it's a novella too. And novellas are hard for me. And also it has like horror elements. Horror is hard for me, but oh man, fucking loved that book. So awesome. So great. Robber Girl by S.T. Gibson. This one wasn't like a fave, but I liked it. It would kind of honestly be in like between pretty solid and meh. Like it was fine. It was cute. I'll put it in pretty solid. Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This one for me, again, I don't read horror very much, if at all. But Ingrid was like, Shauna, I think you need to try it. Like, I think you'll really like it. I know you don't read horror, but it's not like anything crazy. Like, I think you'll enjoy it. And I really did. I really did enjoy this. I have no desire to read any more Grady Hendrix. And I know, too, there's some elements to this book where there's, like, some hinky things, representation, perhaps, that maybe isn't, like, the best. But overall, I just had a really fun... I was in it. I read this thing so fucking fast. Like, I was sucked in. Dowry of Blood, like, impacted me more on a personal level, but Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires was more, like, exciting and, like, more of a page-turner, I would say. So, I'm going to put that right there. Jacqueline Carey, Starless. This was, like, in between fan-freaking-tastic and pretty solid. I really liked it. There were some pacing issues, was my biggest thing, but it was like epic adult fantasy, and I quite enjoyed it. I'll put it in between here. Yeah. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is one of my all-time favorite books. I reread it recently and still gave it 5 stars. It's one of those books, it's like a quieter book. Like when I think about the plot, honestly, even though I reread it sort of recently, like in the last year or so, I'm like, I have vague recollections of like the various plot points, and like it's one of those stories where we're following a few different people in a few different areas, and like things come together, things weave together, and by the end you're like, oh my god, that's so-and-so and so-and-so. It's like dystopian thing, but it's one of those books that I'm always just like, every time I read it, the couple times I've read it, I'm just like, man, that is just fucking good. That's just a good goddamn book. So I gotta put it on the higher end and fan-freaking-tastic. But I still think Ring Shout would be above it. Pretty sure. Sun Daughters, Sea Daughters by Amy Ogden, I want to say. This is a novella as well, and I'm fairly certain it's a standalone thing. This was really good. I really liked it. I wish it wasn't just a standalone. Is it a standalone? Let me double check real quick. Yeah, it seems to be. And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I would either put it up toward pretty solid or like fan-freaking-tastic. I gave it 4 stars though, so I'll put it down here. I'll put it right there. The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I vaguely remember this. I gotta put it in I Don't Know Her, because I have like a vague recollection of quite enjoying it, but then also not. And I'm like, am I thinking of different books? I might be thinking of like 2 different books. I don't know. The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. I really like the Queens of Renthia series by Sarah Beth Durst. I like thoroughly enjoyed that. This one, I wasn't that into, honestly. I gotta put it like, yeah, down here. I don't know. It was fine. I gave it like 3 or so stars. I don't know, something like that. It was just like there. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan. The Chosen and the Beautiful, fan-freaking-tastic. This has to go way up high. I need to reread Ring Shout and Chosen and the Beautiful. It's a novella as well. I just really loved that. Who? Oh my god, author name. Hello? Nevo. Yeah, duh, Deshauna. And I DNF'd the other one that came out after Siren Queen, but Chosen and the Beautiful still just, I thoroughly enjoy that. The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by my girl, freaking, oh my god, Kirsten White. This is young adult, and it is kind of a retelling of Frankenstein from Elizabeth Frankenstein's perspective, and I really liked it. I really, really liked it. It's got to go up here, if not in fan-freaking-tastic. It's been a while since I read it, so I'm just going to put it up at the top here. But it is kind of like one of my faves. I really liked it. The Gilda Stories by Joelle Gomez. This one was like a really cool concept. Vampires and kind of more classic vampire tropes with like their like earth that has to follow them everywhere from like where they were born. Kind of more like those more traditional things. And black vampires in the South, in the United States, back in the day. And it was like cool, but it was very just like chill. And the plot, I guess, just wasn't my favorite. So it was kind of meh. It was kind of meh. I would say, yeah, it's somewhere around in here. I wanted to love it a lot more. The Jane Austen Project by somebody. Don't remember who. This is like SFF, like time travel. I don't effing remember this. I think I liked it. What'd I give it? Let me see what I rated it. Kathleen A. Flynn. 4 stars! I gave this 4 stars, and I don't remember it. Oh my god, so apparently I thought it was pretty solid, but right now I couldn't tell you where I would put it, because don't know. The Library of Fates. Oh, this is by, hold on. Aditi Khorana, and I don't remember. Yeah, I was going to say this one, I don't really remember. I gave it 3 stars apparently, but really don't remember that. I got to put Beastkeeper down here because I don't remember that shit at all. Under the Whispering Door, TJ Klune. Yeah, this one was like, kind of meh, kind of not for me. Honestly, I'll put it in meh. It was like, yeah. Man, the freaking main character, just, ugh, shut up. I hate him. Fonda Lee, Untethered Sky. This is a novella from this year that I read earlier this year, I think, or late last year. No, I don't remember. But I quite enjoyed this. This was pretty solid to me. I know it's been kind of hit or miss with some people, but I liked it. I would put it, like, probably right about here. Yeah. It made me excited for more Fonda Lee, for more, like, novels by Fonda Lee. Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. This was, like, kind of meh to me. Don't really remember it that much. I just remember being, like, this is very magical realism and not in a way that, like, works for me very well. I'll put it down here in meh, because it wasn't bad. Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This one, there actually is a second one that came out, but I think they're standalone, like, companion novels in the same world, to my understanding. So that's why I included this one, because this one was pretty solid for me. There was an element to it that I would put in fan-freaking-tastic, representation for someone who had been, they're out of it at the point that we are introduced to them in the story, but they had been in an abusive relationship, emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive. And the representation there, like, got me emotional several times. I thought it was very, very well done. I recognized it essentially immediately meeting this character. I was like, oh, methinks I know what is going on here. This is all very familiar behavior. So that element I would put in, like, fan-freaking-tastic. I I wasn't like enamored with the plot overall, I think, really. So I'm going to put it in pretty solid, but like higher up on the pretty solid. There we are. So I ended up having a lot more up in the higher than I thought. I thought I'd have a lot more in the I don't know her. Because there are still a couple in here, like I said, like Wild Beauty, where I'm like, oh, vague memories of it, but I do remember enough of my feeling while I read it. Like these ones I don't really, like I didn't remember that I gave Jane Austen Project 4 stars. Had no idea. I was like, oh, news to me. Whereas with like Wild Beauty, I do remember the feeling I had when I read it of like, I don't know. So there we are. Give me some recommendations, guys, based on these. There's plenty that I have on my list, like my TBR and like even ones that I own that I want to get to. So maybe ones you'll give me I already want to read, but give them to me anyways down in the comments. Or just leave an emoji if you want to say hey and let me know that you watched, that you're here. Appreciate ya. Like and subscribe as well if you haven't, and if you feel so inclined, it is much appreciated. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.